The OKC Thunder have now taken a 3-1 advantage in the Western Conference Finals. And for this game 4, it really felt like the fate of the series was kind of on the line here. Now, if Minnesota won this game, it was very far from a guarantee that they would win the series. But a 2-2 series is a lot different than a 3-1. Because now for Oklahoma City, they go up 3-1, and Minnesota, if they want to win this series, not only do they have to win 3 straight, they're back against the wall, no margin for error, but they've got to win 2 road games as well. And it's one thing against a crowd that may not be fully bought into their team, but this is Oklahoma City we're talking about. An incredible fan base, incredible atmosphere. It's hard to beat them at home once, but to do that in both game 5 and 7, that's even more challenging. For Minnesota, if they were able to make it 2-2, all of a sudden you still have some breathing room in this series. You don't have to win game 5 necessarily. Or even if you went on a 4-game winning streak, you wouldn't have to go to game 7 in Oklahoma City, which would be just a completely different level of atmosphere. But for the Timberwolves, now there's not a lot of breathing room. And they kept this game close throughout, but Oklahoma City, they looked really, really impressive. And this looks like a team that has the ability, if they go on to the NBA Finals, to win the championship. What I was really impressed by was their confidence in this game and their ability to stay calm and collected throughout. Because you think about the core of the Thunder, they are very, very young. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the MVP of the league, he's 26 years old. Then you got Chet Holmgren, J-Dub, they came up in the 2022 draft class. Then you've got the likes of Isaiah Joe, Cason Wallace. And when you have all of this youth on your team, a lot of the times, especially early on when they haven't had a lot of postseason experience, especially in the Western Conference Finals, as soon as you get to that stage, it can be a little bit daunting. Even in the regular season, you want to look at the Cleveland Cavaliers as an example in the most recent years. Of course, this past year they did really, really well in the regular season, but earlier on, it was still the same core around them: Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. But especially among Garland and Mobley, there wasn't a lot of experience there, and they let it ride out for a few years, and this year was a really successful regular season for them. But the OKC Thunder, what they've done is they really accelerated past that timeline. I believe it was 2 years ago they were the 10 seed. Then last year they were tied for the 1 seed, and this year they were far and away the 1 seed with 68 wins. There's often this timeline of player development where you have quite a bit of patience because they're still trying to get acquainted to the league. But I think that's a real testament to the Thunder coaching staff, their training staff, with their ability to develop players as well as, of course, the talent of the likes of J-Dub, Chet, and Shai. But it's not only the success of this team, it's the manner in which they did it as well. Because in this game, I was talking about how they stayed calm and collected throughout. Because once again, this was a game that really had the opportunity to ice this series for them. And that's not a knock on the Timberwolves. They have the talent and they have the passion to be able to eke out a couple more games. But now there's no margin for error for them. And for Oklahoma City, going up 3-1, you've almost punched your ticket to the finals by now, and especially on the road, with the Timberwolves trying to keep up as much as they can with you. In the prior game, they'd blown you out by about 40. That's a very, very big moment. Trying to get to the finals, and you're on the road, and this team is running off of a lot of confidence. They just proved that they can beat you, and beat you pretty thoroughly. And the Timberwolves throughout this game, they proved it wasn't a fluke. They looked very, very good for the most part, and they kept it competitive all the way throughout. But for Oklahoma City, they were able to maintain control of the game for the most part. They had less turnovers than Minnesota, for example. And near the end of the game, they executed in the moments where they really needed to. For the most part, by the end, they were hitting their free throws. And then on defense, they had a game plan to stop the Wolves as well. Because instead of wanting to let Minnesota get a 3 off, even if they're chucking it up there, and allow for Minnesota to get an extra point, especially if the Thunder fouled there, instead, OKC had to be very cautious about the manner in which they fouled to make sure that it didn't turn into a shooting foul. And you limit the Wolves to just 2 points, which could really help seal the game for the Thunder. And that's precisely what they did. So they executed on both offense and defense when it was most necessary. And maybe you can come to expect that from some of the all-time great teams that we've seen. But when it's a team with this much youth like the Thunder, it's really worth noting when it happens. And even among the best teams in the league today, you look at the Boston Celtics, for example. Of course, they won the title last year. Of course, they had the Jason Tatum injury this year. But for the longest time, even under Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, sometimes when the lights were really bright, they didn't always perform on the biggest stage. So for the Thunder to already be at that level, that's really, really impressive. And it makes it seem like a team that not only has a chance of winning this year, but to potentially win for years to come. And you talk about kind of the depth of NBA dynasties with this whole second apron ordeal now. The Thunder, with the level of talent that they have and the age that those guys are at, they have the chance to be the next dynasty in the NBA if things go right for them. And in terms of on the court play, they've already shown that they have what it takes to not be phased by the moment and instead to come out in a game like this and be the victors. This was a great showing for Oklahoma City, and if they blow out Minnesota, that would be one thing. But I think it's arguably more impressive that this game was as close as it was, because in the Thunder they really earned it, and they showed that they had what it took in the biggest possible moments. And for Minnesota, now they've got their back against the wall, no margin for error. And it's all because of the way that the Thunder executed this past game. It was a really good night for both teams. But the Oklahoma City Thunder, they continue to accelerate past the general timeline that you think of with a team like this and exceed expectations. And they are not going to limit themselves to the manner in which you perceive them, the manner in which you feel might be too early for them to win, because they believe that they can win. And they've got a very good chance of them being your next NBA champions. And that was on full display this past game.